You gonna come in? Come on. Hey everybody, welcome back to my channel. I'm Shauna Jane, certified health and fitness instructor. This is Jack. He is here whether we want him to be or not. As promised, I'm here to tell you some of my favorite things about a rebounder specific to being hypermobile and neurodivergent. And as always, these things aren't going to necessarily apply to every single one of you. And I'm sure that there are other ways that you can use a rebounder that I'm not going to mention. There are 4 primary ways that I use it, and I'll give you a little bit of detail for each of those. So let's get into it. Okay. The first is for exercise. There is absolutely no reason that you cannot use a rebounder instead of the floor. And I really like this for something in between working out on a bed versus the floor. So the floor is going to be the most challenging, the hardest on your joints. The bed is obviously going to reduce that challenge and make it much easier on your joints. Trampoline is kind of a nice in between. You can do deep core work. A lot of stuff that you would do lying down on your back, you can do on a trampoline. I also like to lean my legs off of the edge. If you're somebody who has short hip flexors, doing work from this position lengthens your hip flexors a little bit. So this can either reduce or increase the challenge depending on your body, just different ways to do it. Also, tabletop exercise. A trampoline is so much better on the knees, on the wrists. And this is not to say you have to do exercise in tabletop, but again, it's just about options. And you can, of course, add a pillow or anything else that you need to support your upper body. Make it yours, always. The second thing that I use the rebounder for is just light bouncing, or what I like to call idling. I usually have my rebounder out in my living room. That's where it tends to live. And so I don't know about you, but I do the ADHD kind of like stimmy thing where I'll just idle in front of the TV or waiting to do something. And so what I try to do instead, idling on my trampoline, or maybe just a little bit of light bouncing. The reasons for this, again, this is going to be much better on your joints than the floor. So it's nice and stimmy. Let me get down so that you can see my face. And then another thing I like about bouncing on this is it's really great for muscle activation. So if you struggle with locking your knees when you standing on the trampoline and holding that micro bend can be really beneficial because you don't get that same negative resistance that you would get on the floor. The trampoline is going to hug your feet nicely, so you can get more used to holding that micro bend, getting that activation in your legs, your hamstrings, your quads, your glutes, and just doing some bouncing and idling like this instead of with our knees locked out. And this right here is going to serve you far better and serve your body far better, your joints far better than doing something on the ground where you're creating a whole lot of impact. A couple of other things you can do when you're just idling or really lightly bouncing. It's a great way to connect with your deep core and your pelvic floor. So you can just kind of go up and down, practicing what compression feels like. And it's also a really great way to help improve balance. You could do some single leg stance type of work. Not only are you going to improve balance because it's a little more challenging on the trampoline, but again, it's more challenging, but also it's easier on your joints. Best of both worlds. The third way I'll use this is more traditionally heavy bouncing. And this is, again, not something that I'm going to even recommend for every hypermobile person. I know that's what most people are thinking when you initially see rebounder is bouncing on it like it's intended. Sure, you can do that if you have the pelvic stability, the deep core stability to do that safely. I'm all for it. It's really great for the lymphatic system. And any cardiorespiratory work in tiny bursts, that's great. We always want to try to maximize as much as possible. So if that's right for your body, this is a really fantastic option to get those little cardio bursts in at home. Truly 60 to 120 seconds, phenomenal. And as I've been alluding to a number of times, I know a lot of people think, oh, a trampoline, a rebounder, isn't that so much pressure on your joints? Light bouncing on this is less pressure on your joints than walking on the ground. And I work with a lot of hypermobile people, and I talk to a lot of hypermobile people who have these goals of walking 10,000 steps a day or are out there running. And I'm not going to tell you not to do that. But if you're not afraid to run, but you are afraid of a rebounder, I'm just saying, maybe why. This is going to be far better on your joints. I'm not telling you not to run, but this is not an option. And last, the fourth way that I like to use this is relaxing on it. So like I said before, this is usually out in my living room, and I lean it up against the edge of my couch. And so what I often do is lie down like this, and then I rest my head along the back of the couch and I relax like this. Because again, for me, I feel like a trampoline it's almost like a more supportive hammock. I know a lot of us hypermobile people talk about like wanting to just exist in a hammock. Totally agree. It's a little bit like that, but more supportive. So I have that firmness that I'm looking for, but it's also conforming and not resisting against my joints. So yeah, I will just relax on it. I'll lie down watching, TV or reading. I will sometimes sit and get work done on it. It is just really comfortable. And most of the time out in my living room, I have like my pregnancy pillow is on it, or just body pillows and a bunch of various things. And like I said, there are probably so many things that you could use this for that I didn't mention. Maybe you do. I would love to know in the comments if you have a rebounder, what you use it for. And in terms of what size, what are you going to use it for? I'm 5'4", so just to give perspective, I'm 5'4". I don't know what size this is. I'll find out and I'll put it in the description of the video. So 5'4" and thereabouts. If you don't plan on lying down on it for anything, if you just wanted to use it for some light bouncing, you could get a smaller one. Size really is just going to depend on what you use it for, your particular situation, your budget, lifestyle, body, all that good stuff. Also, let me know in the comments if you like this type of content. I'll try to do more of it. I know I usually do the educational or just providing workouts here, but I do enjoy talking about this kind of stuff and sharing it with you. So let me know if it's helpful. And again, I want to be really clear. I'm not telling you have to buy a rebounder. You don't need to buy this. This isn't about having you buy something. I bought this rebounder just to connect with my inner child. When I first found out I was ADHD, and I was like, oh, let me just do things that make me feel like a little kid again. That's why I first bought this. It has transitioned into, all of these other uses. And that's why I'm sharing this with you. If you have one, here are some other things you can do with it. If you've been thinking about it, here are maybe some other reasons to consider it. That's really it. And if nothing else, if you were like, oh, maybe that's really scary, again, not everything I tell you might be for you. Not everything is for everybody, but I just want you to remember that this is by and large gonna be more gentle on your joints than walking on the ground, than when we hit the ground. So just keep that in mind. And yeah, I hope this was helpful. I will see you for the next one, bendy friendies. Bye.